Hey everybody, my name is Brian Kelsey. That of course is Pete Chifo, and that is a broken garage door. And I'm just noticing this too, Pete. Quite a production going on here.
Wow,
so
it's a new studio.
So we just moved in here, and I'm still not finished with it. Did you see the applause sign up there?
Yeah, and I turned it off. I could have.
Yeah, that's nice. And there's things that need to be done. The beer train is still not working yet. Obviously the garage door, and then you see this?
I know. I'm sorry I couldn't have been here for this.
This is unacceptable. Welcome to the show. We've got a great show, but I think before we do anything, I think we need to take care of the garage door situation because it's the centerpiece of the show. Pete, I need the world's best garage door.
You need a guy.
Top notch. I mean, like, I don't know what qualities do you want. You got a guy.
I got a guy. Don on RealCraft.
Don, should we take care of this now? Should we call him right now and see what's?
Oh, he's on call, Don.
It's the centerpiece of the show. This is Don from Pete. Money's no object.
No, none.
As long as it's under $200. How do I get out of it? Is it
You
like a
got
separate
that
line?
That line.
Oh. Is this Don?
Yeah, Don Reese, RealCraft.
Hey, it's Brian Kelsey from, a little show called 10 Minutes With. You may have heard of it. I'm standing here with Pete, who is recommending you for our garage door. So we have a little situation here in that it doesn't work. So I'm looking for the world's best built, highest quality garage doors, and he swears by RealCraft.
Well, obviously, he's very intelligent, and he's on top of his game. When we talk garage doors, we're talking doors, not these roll-up fake things. So we build doors that no one else can build in North America. I mean, the way we build them, the structure, the design, no one will go to the trouble to make them with the quality that we make them.
What does somebody want in their garage doors that you give them? What is a good, solid material?
Well, we use real wood, so we're not using, junk panels that they get off of the shelf. So we basically, person gives us a measurement, we talk about the design, we talk about what they want, and we make doors that are full doors. So when we talk about a garage door here, we talking about swing out real doors, not these panels that roll up.
Don, our guests come in and out through the garage door. It's got to be really impressive, It can't be just this roll-up, panel doors.
A door is kind of an important thing. It kind of says who you are and what you're coming into. I mean, that's your front face,
Hold on. Are we running B-roll under this conversation? Okay, so handcrafted. You've got the really high-quality wood.
That's what really started us because back in the day, I was doing timber frame houses. Being a timber framer, the wood is notched mortise and tenon, so they kind of stick together in a full structural frame. So that's kind of how we...
So do you have people who are trained to make, like, mortise and tenon, really good doors, or are you just kind of...
We've been training and gathering some of the best craftsmen, and then it's truly amazing, and I just feel honored just to be around the craftsmen that I have here.
This is perfect. Let's sign us up.
Okay, what do you say we have your people talk to my people?
Hey, listen, I'm going to have, my people are Pete's mom, I don't know who your people are, but Pete's mom will be calling you with the dimensions and all the stuff, and we'll work it out from there, and then we'll follow up when we get the doors and install them. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Oh.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. Great. Don, thank you so much. It was so nice speaking to you.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. It's Don. You better be top notch.
Don.
Pete.
My guys are nothing but top.
I know. It's the centerpiece of the show. Did I mention that?
You did.
You know, occasionally, once in a while, once in a blue moon, we get rejection letters from celebrities who don't want to be in the show for one reason or another. It's very rare, but when we do get them, we like to read them on the air and celebrate this in a little segment we like to call Electronic Mail Rejection Letters. Yes. These are, I got these on my email. They come right to me. Letter number 1. Hi, Brian. Thank you for your interest in The Problem with Jon Stewart. John is deep into production, unfortunately, and won't be able to be available for interviews. But, of course, we'll let you know if anything changes. Best, Lauren. That's very nice. It's very pleasant.
Anything else?
There seems to be a PS here. PS, we may reconsider when you upgrade the beach chair to a couch. I mean, I don't know.
We have the space now.
We do have the space in the new place. I'm kind of a. Do we have the budget for a nice couch? Letter number 2. Hi, Brian. Thank you for the invite, but JB is not available at the moment. At the moment, does that mean he's available other moments? Yeah, sure. So maybe. Wishing you the best, Juliana. P.S. Oh, this is the first. This is a nice one. There's an extra note. P.S. In consideration of your kind offer, please accept the enclosed free $5 betting credit on Caesars Sportsbook. Well, that's class. We don't get many of those. Oh. Top-notch garage door, Pete. Got to be number 1.
Number 1, done.
Is this going to be?
He's the guy.
Okay.
If you know anything. Garage doors.
I want maybe the ones that open up like this. I don't know.
RealCraft.
Okay. I want to make sure. Hi, Brian. Thanks for reaching out. We won't be able to schedule this right now, but should that change, I will let you know. Thanks, Heidi. P.S. Dave and the band have seen the show, and they think this bit runs a bit everlong. So we'll be right back, taking a quick break. And we're back. This is unacceptable. What happens if a guest comes? I can't have this a guest coming in.
Liability.
Yes, it's a liability.
Fall on top of them.
We need to. Well, we got the garage door straightened out. I think we need to address this desk. And I think I have an idea. Pete, can you call Ed? He's got his big car. And how's your back?
Fine.
You can lift this?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to lift this desk, and we're going to bring it somewhere. I'm going to take care of this right now. I can't go on any longer. Let's get everything off here. Get all this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the garage door. Oh, we got to open it.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, we go.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Who cut the cheese?
Excuse me, folks.
Yeah. Everyone just stay cool. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, my desk is wobbly. How do we fix it?
Norm Abram, master carpenter.
Hey, Norm.
Hey, Tom. Matchbooks.
Wait, hold on. I mean, while we're here, you're retiring from this old house this year. We got the desk. We got Pete. We got Ed. Can we do a quick little interview?
Sure.
Great. Where's your garage? Okay. Pete, my guest today has been master carpenter of the multi-Emmy winning and groundbreaking show This Old House since the series started in 1979 and host of the New Yankee Workshop since its premiere 10 years later. He's inspired millions of homeowners to renovate and restore their homes, seen across the country as the ultimate home improvement guru. Everyone wishes they lived next to Norm. He's recently retired, and we're in his garage, ladies and gentlemen, Norm Abram. Here he is. Here's the garage. You go to the garage.
Oh, this is great.
Ah, well, yeah, it's your garage.
I know, it should be.
Look, and you know what? The table is, it's not
You already
moving. I
stabilized
already
it?
figured it out. Hey, this is some garage.
Yeah, when we built this house, we not only built it for ourselves, but we built it for the things we like. My wife does pottery, so we got those sort of two separate. You know there's water out there. I'm not allowed to look at the water because I might cut my hand off. So I'm over there in the safe area, and because we're in a boating area, I need a little extra room in the garage. So it gives them some good space. This is the last house I'm going to build, so it's going to last for a long time.
Thanks again for letting us set up here. It's a little warm, but I think we're all good. You got water. So I want to go back to the very beginning because I think your childhood had a lot to do with who you are now, particularly your father, who was a carpenter. Just tell me what it was like growing up with your father, who just built everything and did everything himself.
Yeah, I mean, my father was great, and he, you know, I think it's, as a parent, you have to try to figure out how you deal with your kids, and I was very curious most of the time. So in the house I grew up in, there's a great picture that came out when my father was building the house that I spent most of my time in. There's a picture of him on a staging, on a ladder rather,
with your sister.
And with my sister.
Yeah.
My father was like a silent teacher in some kind of ways, I think. Even from people that were relatives who would come either to our summer place or to the house, you would always see him with the children trying to tell them how to learn how to do things. Like if he was mowing the lawn, I already had got the lesson on putting the oil in and making sure it's right. He would talk to them and be very kind about that. And when he was come home with materials, he was never never owned a company. And he was never really the pure foreman, but he was the high guy and did a lot of the complicated work. He would bring pieces of material home to do in our basement. He had a table saw and a joiner. You know, it was like I was down there every time that happened. Now, I was not allowed to touch the tools, obviously, when I was young. I learned how to pick up the dust, the sawdust.
How do you start?
And then I had my own bench that he built for me. And I started building things, and sometimes it was like with Legos, or if it was a different kit that I had. And slowly but surely, you know, he would push material through. I would get this feeling of the sense of how it all goes and do some sanding and so forth, and then be part of what he was going to be bringing back to the job site he was at. So he was very quiet about it, but never getting angry about it, just kind of saying, no, you know, maybe you should just try this a little bit of a thing. And that taught me a lesson, and I taught a lot of the people that ended up working for me in a much similar way. So he made sure there was time. I think maybe, I don't know how his growing up as a child was. I didn't know a lot about that, but I think he was, and my sister as well. My sister was deaf, which made that much even more complicated, but we were together. When I learned how to drive, he let me drive his truck to work every day during the summer. And how many kids get to drive their father home in a pickup truck?
That's, I mean, so kind of fast forward. So you, you went to college and you eventually started working for different carpentry jobs. And then you formed your own company. When was this, 1976?
Yeah, it was in the 70s, yeah, the early 70s. I got out of school in, was it 72? Started a little company and just started doing remodeling, a lot of it by myself. And eventually I started to make clients, and that grew into a company that was not big. It was mostly renovations.
I think your first big job, though, was the store in Nantucket, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. I read the country store in Nantucket was one of the projects that I did. And that I came into that from Jock Gifford, who owns property on the island. And he was a good friend with Russ Morash as well. So,
and for those who don't know, Russ is, well, at that time he produced The Victory Garden.
Yeah, Victory Garden and
Julia Child.
Yeah.
𝐤𝐴, right?
Yep. Yep. So he was a television producer, and he hired you to build him a shed.
Right.
Not knowing, just 2 yards, just a guy.
Right.
Here's this guy, and I read a funny quote that he said about you when he first asked you to come to Dorchester. He's working on a house, doing a PBS series. Do you want to come and say a few things? And I think he said, what did he say? Something like, well, you know, Norm didn't have a girlfriend and he didn't have a life, so what else was he going to do?
Gee, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I read it on the internet, and everything on the internet is true. But so, yeah, so that first time, so there's a house in Dorchester. He's starting a show. And I still laugh, and we're laughing about this on the ride over here, the first time you were on, and we'll show a picture, and you were on that sketchy scaffolding.
Illegal scaffolding.
Can you imagine that? Like, there was not, and then Bob Vila's climbing up, and it's just a whole thing, and you got the hat, you guys got the hat, and were you nervous? Because I've read some places that you were nervous, and you didn't seem nervous at all. You're just like telling it like it is.
No, yeah, I mean, doing what I did what I was doing for a living, actually things were slow, and I was glad that someone was looking for someone to give somebody work, number one. Number two is, you know, I had no contact of camera being behind me and watching what I'm doing. In fact, that was the second show. The first show, I remember going home and saying to my wife, I'm going to be on TV, because I had a ladder, and I was walking through the camera, and I saw it. And I thought that was the best thing in the world. I was going to be on TV. Famous. Little did I know that Russ had put a mic on that guy and tell him what's going on. And for me, that was, I just didn't see any need to be, I had already seen a show made, and there was a very small staff that was doing it. And to just go up there and talk to Bob Vila, not like I'm talking directly to camera, that was easy. I always found when I started to learn how to learn to the camera, that was hard. When project number 2 started, that was a whole new game to play, because that was the Bigelow house, which was a huge house, beautifully built, but in really tough condition. And I think that's when he kind of pushed me, unknown to me in a way, into the position and I had other jobs I was working on, is to start working on that project. And that happens to be the best project, my favorite project to do, really? Because it was the most challenging, and we took a historic building, and because the town wanted to keep it the same, we kept it the same, but we turned it into 5 units for people to live in. And as far as I know, it's still in good condition. Well,
you know, those early years, actually, the homeowners were really more hands-on. And do you think, though, that the sort of DIY generation has changed over your course of your career?
Yeah, I think it's changed. I mean, you know, the DIY thing didn't come from house until a little bit later, when they started doing Ask This Old House. As time went on, we started to push them into it. Yeah. So that was even before Ask This Old House. So you're right. There was a period where that started, and then Ask was another level of that. Mm-hmm. And that was good, because it gave them interest in their own home and some pride of the fact. I mean, you can't, if you're an homeowner like that and you don't think you can do that, and then you do the job and it looks pretty good, you know, you feel good about it.
How did it work? Like, were you there working all day, and they would come in and out and film different things and say, hey, today while you're, you know, doing trim, we're going to come in and cover that? Or
no, it was ahead of time. We knew what we were going to do the day we were shooting the show. The day before, they would scout it, and they'd say, okay, what are you going to be working on this week, or what are you going to be working on the next 2 days? No one was writing how it was going to happen. There was a few notes, maybe one line, and we'd just set it up. We'd say, what are you going to do? You ready to go? Okay, boom. Sometimes we get it first shot. Sometimes it was 5 shots before you got it. But it was guerrilla television. It really was.
Sounds familiar, folks. Okay, so back to This Old House. You're doing it. You're huge. You're a megastar, America's sweetheart. And then now Russ has this idea, hey, let's do a spin-off show where you're going to build furniture.
Yeah, no, he wanted me to start with a book, just build some projects. And then all of a sudden, he decided that, well, maybe we can do a TV show. And little did I know that that it was going to go as long as it did. But so what people don't realize is one of the benefits of the way New Yankee was made in terms of teaching is other woodworkers who were doing TV, and there were very few at that time, would start with nothing. And what I did, is I built a prototype first. There's two reasons to do that. One, you don't even have to complete it. You don't have to glue it all up if you want to show things to people in the process. But it gets you through the whole process to get that. So I would do one for that. Then we would do the show. And the show is usually two days. And if I had a day in between, it was always better. And then, because the cameras weren't good enough, or the video was not good enough to do a book and get photography, colored for photography, I had to build a third one. And I think it really made the show because as soon as you turn it on and you see the piece, you say, oh, we're going to build that today.
Yeah, you see the end product.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a Facebook group. It's called the New Norm Abram Fan Club. And most of them want to know, and this is for the New Yankee Workshop, what was the hardest thing you had to build and why? And I think I know what it is, but go on.
It's a bonnet-topped Queen Anne high...
It's a high boy.
High boy. It's a high boy. You're right. What am I doing?
Is the tiger maple?
Tiger maple.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's just a big piece of furniture.
It's like there's too many words there.
Yeah. Now that was
the toughest project I made.
Okay, so you're doing the New Yankee Workshop. Things are great. Do you find though, like you've really, you rose to fame. You're just an average guy. Did you find any of that fame difficult at all?
No, I mean I think people come up to me all the time, and they say we love the show, and I just thank them for it. You put food on my table, and I think the thing about being a teacher, I guess I finally come to the conclusion that maybe I am a teacher, but I never looked at myself that way. I just looked at someone who likes to build hard things, difficult things. The more difficult it is, the better it is for me.
Norm, let's get down to brass tacks. What do you think of my desk here? So I
think this looks pretty good here.
So let me give you a little tour. Standard plywood and some veneer. So I couldn't use a regular desk, right? I couldn't use it has to be small, has to be open on the inside, and it's portable. It's not really portable, but we made it portable.
You made it portable.
Also, we want to know about your, so one of the things you're kind of famous for, other than being an amazing woodworker, is your shirts, your plaid shirts.
Oh yes, plaid shirts.
So I was saying L.O. Bean. Are you saying J. Where are we getting?
L.O. Bean was number one.
That's number one. Of course,
definitely.
that's up here. Yeah.
Now they're all too big for me.
Yeah. Look at you. You're.
I lost. I went from 220 to 220. To 177.
And what was the secret? Just diet?
Yeah, I wasn't eating all those lunches at the show. We make the show.
Perhaps. Luckily, these guys are nice thing because I don't supply anything. We have mints. That's about it.
And plus, I think it's age. I mean, it's just, I feel very good that I'm very lucky to, so far, have good health.
So you retired in May from this old house. And a lot of people ask you this, but what's next? And by the way, when I say retire, no woodworker retires.
No, you're right.
Like but movies, Broadway, what's Las Vegas show?
I've been talking about this to people for quite a while now. I did one sailboat on the New Yankee Workshop. It was a very small one. It was these kids out in California. Was it California? Wherever we did, anyway. I want to build what they call as a 12.5. And I may, believe it or not, go to boat school.
When? When is it starting?
Well, it's when the shop's ready to go. Well, two things. When the shop's ready to go, and when I put the things that I have to put in my wife's shop, because she has to do a lot of things with the clay that she works with. That's number one. Number two gets that done, and then we start working on a sailboat.
So that's probably about 10 years from now.
Well, I'm only... I did an interview the other day, and somebody said, "What would you like to do in the future?" And I said, "Live to be 100."
You're on your way. You're losing weight. You're building boats. What a career, and it's still going. Norm, I can't thank you enough. Pete, this is fantastic. I just want to say again, thank you for all you've taught us, for everything you've done, and everybody's just so thankful for your knowledge and your patience too with so many things. Norm Abram, thank you so much. The house that Norm built is a 1-hour tribute on Roku on PBS. Thank you for letting me use the garage. Wait, shoot, not leaving? Well, it's your garage.